It was 1998. The world was obsessed with the future. Computers, satellites, the internet. But far above Earth, a crew of 6 astronauts boarded the Orion 2 on what was supposed to be a routine mission. They were headed for the edge of Earth's orbit to test long-range equipment for future space stations. It was history in the making, a mission of hope. But it became a nightmare no one could have predicted. The crew was small, but carefully chosen. Captain Harris, a stern man who had seen it all. Dr. Miller, the mission's doctor, calm under pressure. Engineer Ruiz, always cracking jokes to keep spirits high. Lieutenant Carter, young but brilliant, in charge of communications. And then there was Samuel Reed, the systems officer. Quiet, reserved. A man who preferred machines to people. No one really knew much about Reed. He didn't talk much back on Earth, and in space, he spoke even less. But he did his job, and that was all that mattered. The first week went smoothly. Tests were run, data collected. But then Reed started acting strange. He would stay awake long after the others had gone to sleep, just staring out the window at the stars. When someone asked what he was doing, he said, listening. At first, they laughed it off. Maybe space was getting to him. But then equipment started failing. Lights flickered. Oxygen monitors glitched. Captain Harris blamed the systems, but Reed blamed the crew. He said someone was sabotaging the mission. His voice was calm, but his eyes were wild, full of something the others had never seen in him before. Day by day, Reed grew worse. He stopped eating with the crew, stopped speaking. When he did talk, it was cryptic, unnerving. He told Dr. Miller that the ship knows we don't belong here. He told Ruiz that they were listening through the radio. The others tried to ignore him, but you could feel the fear spreading. No one wanted to be alone with him. Then Carter swore he caught Reed messing with the navigation system. Reed denied it, but when Harris checked, the logs showed unauthorized access. It was small enough to be dismissed as a glitch, but deep down, they all knew. Reed was changing. It happened on the 12th day. Ruiz didn't show up for his shift. They searched the ship, calling his name, until they found him in the airlock. His helmet was shattered, his body frozen. The log said he had opened the hatch himself, as if he wanted to go outside without a suit. But Harris didn't believe it. None of them did. Only Reed was calm. Too calm. He told them the ship chose him. It didn't want him here anymore. The others stared in horror. How could he say that? Ruiz had been his friend. But Reed just smiled and went back to staring out the window. After Ruiz's death, tension split the crew apart. No one trusted anyone. Carter demanded they restrain Reed, but Harris refused, saying they had no proof. Miller tried to keep peace, but even she began to avoid Reed. Every night, footsteps echoed in the halls when no one was supposed to be awake. Carter swore he heard whispering in the vents. The ship felt alive, watching them. And always, Reed was there, awake, smiling, whispering to himself. When asked who he was talking to, he said only, the stars. On the 15th day, Carter vanished. They found him in the engine bay, his throat slit, blood floating weightless through the air like tiny red stars. Harris locked down the ship, but it didn't matter. Everyone knew who had done it, Red, but when they confronted him, he didn't resist. He just looked at them and said, I saved him from the voices. Harris finally ordered him restrained, but Reed fought with a strength no one expected. It took both Harris and Miller to force him into the medbay. They strapped him down, but his smile never faded. You'll see, he whispered. You'll all see. That night, Harris went missing. His blood was smeared across the control panels. The locks on Reed's restraints were broken, but the cameras showed no one entering the room. Reed was gone. It was just Dr. Miller now, alone. She hid in the command center, locking every door, clutching a scalpel like it would save her. She made one last log, her voice trembling. If anyone hears this, Reed has lost his mind. He's killing us. Please, don't let this ship come back to Earth. The final transmission came a few hours later. The comms officer back on Earth reported hearing heavy breathing, footsteps, then silence. After a pause, a voice came through. Calm, smooth. It was Red. He said only one thing before the transmission ended. The stars told me what to do. And now, I'm not alone anymore. The Orion 2 was never recovered. To this day, its location is unknown. Some say it drifts endlessly in the black, with only one man left aboard, listening to voices no human should ever hear.